The farm that Mom and Dad live on now has been in the family since the 1830s, and my brothers and I are ninth generation farmers.
I was raised with my parents on a farm, and I was able to raise my kids on a farm, and we've spent a lot of time together and learned from each other, and we know what each other thinks most of the time because we've done it all our life.
You can't put value on being able to spend time with your family. You know, I know there was a song several years ago that said, you've never seen a tombstone where it said, if I only had spent more time at work. But we're very fortunate because we get to spend time at work with our family. Sure, there's sacrifices that we make, but the reward is so much greater than what we sacrifice.
You know, it's not just your husband's job and my job, it's our life. And so decisions that we make together as a family, talk about things and work through things together, and so I think that's very valuable.
And one thing I would have to add to that, if you don't love each other, it won't work. So make sure whoever you marry, young man, young woman, you love them, and that you can't live without them, because you will have to live with them.
Some days you're not going to like them, but you'll always love them.
Yeah, I think I love picnics in the field. When they're really busy and can't come in for lunch, we can pack up picnics and do cooking at home and run it to them. The little ones are watching calves being born, little chickens, hatching chickens and just having eggs. But one thing, when the boys were all little, Daddy had a meeting to go to, or a lunch, or a fertilizer meeting, seed meeting, or the reps he's talking to, the boys were right there with him. Every place he went, he took those boys, little bitty ones. So they just grew up knowing all about farming, but not only how to do it. They knew everyone around that was involved in it from the get-go. And that's one of my favorite things. And these little ones are doing the same.
You know, there's a bright future in agriculture, in my opinion, and I think there's seasons to look forward to. You know, everything that there's a season for everything. So we got to make sure that we are on top of what's coming down the pike, but not necessarily forgetting the things that were behind us, nor the foundations that were laid before us, to make sure that we pay homage to those that work so hard to give us what we've got now.
I knew I always wanted to marry a farmer or a preacher, and I knew nothing about farming, but that's what I wanted. Well, I got both in one. And the biggest thing for me with farming is it's a wonderful way to raise a family. The little ones grow up knowing what work is, knowing to feed the chickens, to feed the cows, to water them, to just work. This one right here, our oldest, is the best mechanic around because he grew up doing it. He had a wrench and a hammer in his hand when he's 2 years old, following Daddy. And they just learned the value of work. But the biggest thing, I think, is learning the value of family, like Rusty said. I think that's the most important to me.